showcase in their house, their office, and to even add to their fashion as a taste of their African identity. Unfortunately, this market has no access to the surplus authentic goods we have on the continent. And what you see happening are people supplying them counterfeit goods as African. Dziffa.com is an online market for authentic handmade African goods. We provide consumers all over the world direct access to the surplus authentic goods on the continent. How do we do this? We partner up with artisans on the continent who have 2 decades of experience turning at least 70% of locally sourced raw materials and recyclable waste into beautiful products. We market the products for them, we distribute the products for them, and brand it for them. My partner has over 10 years of experience as a software developer. He deals with the technical aspect of the company. I myself used to be a manufacturer. I used to make things like this and sell it to consumers as African. Now, not only was I deceiving consumers, because 99.9% of this product is actually made of inferior counterfeit goods, I was also depriving our local artisans of a market they could be leveraging on to expand their local industry here on the continent. So, what Dziffa.com is doing is providing the 39 million Africans in the diaspora who are always telling their relatives to bring them something from the continent, direct access to the authentic goods here. We're also providing African Americans whose purchasing power is projected to be about $1.2 trillion, direct access to the products of the continent. And for this market, it's emotional to buy the right product from Africa because it validates their African identity. Now to our ultimate market. Africans on the continent between the ages of 16 to 34. They are going to be contributing at least $400 billion in consumption alone over the next decade. We want this market to know that they're going to get the value for their money by doing the groundwork. I've lived in New York for the past 10 years and I moved to Ghana just to work on this project. There's a huge demand for African products and it's sad that we are not leveraging on this demand. So what I'm doing with the Ghana Ministry of Trade and Services, Ghana Export Promotion Services, is to make sure that we're getting the best artisans onto our platform so that when anybody buys the product from us, they are guaranteed authenticity, exclusivity, and affordability. In the diaspora, we partnered with the Ghana Mission to the United Nations to launch this August, and our message was simple. If you're going to buy made in Africa, make sure it's authentic. And we are going to make sure that by being on the ground, meeting with the artisans, examining their products, so that you get the value for your money. Our competitors are currently the thousands of companies marketing goods like this as African and taking a hold of the market that really cares about buying made in Africa. What we're going to do is raise $200,000 and scale up our efforts across the continent so that when people come onto our platform, they're going to get the best products on the continent. We're also going to secure our supply chain to make sure that they get their products on time. So we're going to look for people who are dedicated to the vision, like myself, who are going to spend full time on it to make sure that customers are getting what they're looking for. And also marketing. We're fortunate enough that our target market is already secured. They just don't know that the products they are consuming are counterfeit. So it's our job to let them know that now you have an alternative to buy the best product directly from the continent. We launched in August, so we are 2 months old. We're a fairly young company. We work with 10 artisans. We have over 90 products on our platform, and we've made growing Africans with the best product the continent has. My name is Dziffa Ametam. I'm the founder of Dziffa.com, and our mission is simple: to transform the world's relations to the continent from an aid and remittance hub to getting the world to see Africa as an authentic goods hub. And we can do this in Africa because unlike other continents, we have surplus human capital that can feed the demand of handmade authentic goods. Thank you, and welcome to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Any questions?
Supposedly on how to use technology. So, quick question. So, a lot of goods that we've seen that come from local markets and then are branded or sold in the West, like the markups that theoretically happen in these products are massive. Especially the last mile of the retailer. I'm curious. It seems like in every one of these businesses, it's really about acquiring the customer. That customer being, say, in your case, in the U.S. or Europe, elsewhere. How are you going to acquire those customers? Is it through relationships with retailers like Nordstrom's or something, or is it through online channels? What's your channel to customers?
So for now, we're a retail market, and how we're going to do that is, of course, you see the scarf I have on. Millions of people in the diaspora wear this, and those are people that are actually directly related to groups like Afrofunk, Face to Face Africa. So there are online groups that have these market down packed and are actually pushing this brand Africa movement, except they're consuming counterfeit goods. So we're just going to talk to these influencers and let them know that, hey, for the first time ever, you can actually buy things directly from the continent. And tell your people you're influencing that they need to get value for their money and come to us. So that's how we're just going to partner with influencers who already have that market down packed. Anybody else? Yes.
Thank you for a very good presentation. On that note about influencers and changing their perspective from the counterfeit goods that they are unwillingly using to your authentic goods, do you have a comparison or a price point difference between something currently right now that you have that's the same thing but it's authentic, that maybe the influencer is currently promoting that while...
My bracelet, for example,
okay,
you can get it at Harlem for $10, but you can guarantee that the supplier is not getting it from a Chinese manufacturer on 27th Street, a Chinese supplier on 27th Street. But if you come to Dziffa.com, you can be guaranteed that for buying this for $10, I actually met with a supplier who melts bottles and turned them into these bracelets. So you're guaranteed that we are actually doing our homework and we're doing the due diligence to make sure that whatever it is you're buying from us, even if it's of the same value as you would get elsewhere, you're getting authenticity because we are on the ground and we're working with manufacturers on the continent.
so this is an example where the price point is the same.
This is the same, mostly, yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Are you creating a marketplace business? So it's e-commerce. So what is?
Yes, it's an e-commerce platform, but there's also a huge potential. So there's a huge potential outside the online presence. The Africa Growth Opportunities Act was just renewed for 10 years. This is an act that enables us to ship products to US and Europe for practically free if we're using locally sourced raw materials. Now, previously it was signed for 2 years. Nobody took advantage of it because even though we were producing African things, our raw materials were not from here, so we didn't qualify. So if anybody's looking to actually scale this and move it in chunks, we can get that done because we do the due diligence to make sure that 70% of our products are actually made with locally sourced raw materials. This means that if a store owner wants to buy 100 or 1 million of my beads, they can actually purchase it duty-free because of this act. So we're pushing the retail aspect to get consumers everywhere to come to us and be rest assured that they are purchasing directly from the continent. There's a reason why I'm not in New York paying somebody to do this. It's important that the back end is done and the principle maintains. So yes, for now we're focusing on the retail, but it's a huge potential for wholesale as well, especially with this 10-year Agora contract. Anybody else before I leave? Yes.
Beyond your intrinsic social good or providing jobs for local assets, do you have any built-in financial inclusion or helping alleviate poverty? Do you have any kind of social good beyond the typical built into your model? It's good that you're looking to sell authentic products, but does the value translate to the artisans who are actually doing the work?
My average artisan is about the age of 60 years old. And I'm always asking them when I meet them, because I'm naturally very inquisitive. I'm like, why are you so old? Where's the rest of the young people? And they say there's not much demand for my products. So the young people would rather sell pure water on the street than engage in this art that requires a lot of knowledge and skill. So if there was a demand, before there was a slight demand for the goods locally because tourists were coming in, but when Ebola happened, the market just completely crashed. Locals are not finding any value in authentic goods. Tourists are not coming in, so that means nobody's gonna make it. And if I'm a 28-year-old person and my dad is making beads and nobody's buying these beads, I have no interest in it. Now, if Dziffa.com opens the market up and there's a huge demand for authentic goods, you see more young people naturally going into the market. We don't need to blow our horns that we're making social impact, but we'll be creating jobs. They will see that you're going to make more money turning locally sourced raw materials into finished goods than selling pure water on the streets. Another big impact we're having is African countries have always maintained at the very bottom of the global supply chain. We're always exporting raw materials and importing finished goods that we have the capacity to make locally. So our ultimate target audience is actually youth in this continent. They are the ones that we want to get, but they always follow the trends of people in the diaspora. That's why we're targeting the diaspora. So when the diaspora starts purchasing the right goods, everybody on this continent will start purchasing authentic goods, and we will create jobs. The economy will do better, and for the first time ever, we'll actually be supplying at the top of the global supply chain, as opposed to specializing in raw materials and importing and finished goods, which is why we continue to experience negative balances of trade. So that's down the line, but for now, we're just, yes.
Sorry to just follow up. I guess part of why I'm asking, or to give you the answer, what I was trying to find out is if you're adding some quality assurance, other things to bring value to these articles, beyond the extractive. Because in a certain sense, you're just extracting your finished product and retailing. So are you providing them with anything beyond the economic, the obvious economic, addition to the life?
Yeah, so like we communicate with them back and forth on our artisans. We work with Akushi, for example. I was in Harlem this summer, and before he used to put like pine boots behind his recycled coconut pod, and somebody told me he wanted to get it as a cup. I came back to Ghana, and all of his stuff are turned into cups. So yes, most of our artists are very innovative, and if consumers give us feedback on the products, we tell them, they fix it. Now, the mistake a lot of people make here is artisan is supposed to be do everything. Make the product, market the product, brand the product, distribute the product. And when you do that, you don't get anywhere, you're just stuck there. So they are partners more than anything else. We make sure that we're getting the other things done so that they can focus on making the best products possible. So all we're doing is actually dividing, we're just specializing, and making it clear so that whatever they are making, they're getting a market for it. Because if you're making a lot of products, nobody's buying it, you're not going to be interested in selling it anymore, especially if you're just limited to the local market that has no interest in the quality products that you're actually providing. So that's the value that we're adding for them. Thank you very much.